I'm fully prepared with everything I need for the Jay-Z documentary. The moment he sent that legal letter, I knew I had to let the world see who he really is. He and Diddy are cut from the same cloth. He just hides his arrogance and control behind a cleaner image. Our feud has lasted 20 years, and I know better than anyone what he's done in the shadows. I even suspect that so-called funeral bouquet wasn't Diddy's idea at all, but Jay-Z acting on his behalf. Back when Nicki Minaj posted that video of him wearing a pink wig, all I did was repost it, and he got so nervous he had his lawyers threaten me. In 2015, Nicki worked her ass off helping him build his platform, and he allegedly pocketed her $7.9 million in royalties. And then there's his fingerprints all over key incidents through the years, whether it's Diddy's parties. He was involved, clearly, but somehow he always walks away untouched. That's what he's best at, pulling strings behind the scenes while pretending to be spotless in public. And now that a corner of the darkness has been ripped open, I'm not stopping. Everything my team and I are doing isn't about attacking anyone. It's about making sure the truth can't be buried by him ever again.
Jay-Z ain't answering the phone?
He ain't answering the motherfucking phone.
Yeah, it's like this, like
We had a black billionaire's lunch.
Black excellence. They're sitting there like, yeah. It's the billionaire brunch. You're like,
I hate you, man.
And we here together, and we gonna keep staying together. We getting tighter.
unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you niggas this year. Yo, I feel like I'm normal again. Get me out of here.
Jay-Z is scrambling after turning 50, as details have allegedly surfaced revealing what his private communications with Diddy may have looked like. This situation is far from good for Jay-Z, since for years there have been claims that he was involved in some deeply troubling activities alongside Diddy, and now those allegations are beginning to resurface and come into the spotlight.
Sean Carter aided and abetted or was directly involved. It's about to get real tense, and there's a lot of girls and boys who are still trapped inside the machine.
In interviews, 50 Cent said he was never part of Diddy's inner circle. He explained that certain invitations and situations had made him uncomfortable years ago, which is why he chose to keep his distance. According to him, that distance is also the reason he now feels comfortable speaking openly. When the allegations eventually became public, 50 Cent said he found out about them the same way most people did, through the news, and that none of the revelations really surprised him.
Jaguar Wright explained that Jay-Z is worse than Diddy. She explained how Jay-Z has done worse things than what Diddy did to Cassie to other females. And she said that she has the scars to prove it. She alleged that at one time Jay-Z attacked her and got it on film like Diddy did. And she alleged that this is why Jay-Z is totally pulling away from Diddy and you don't see him around. And it's been alleged for quite a while that Jay-Z is pulling away from Diddy because he doesn't want himself caught in the crossfire. I mean, you even have 50 Cent at this point talking about how Jay-Z is in hiding while this whole Diddy thing blows over. And you even have these accusations of Jay-Z being responsible for what happened to Cassie White. So I'm going to go ahead and roll you guys this clip of everything that Jag had to say about Jay-Z being worse than Diddy. And you guys let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
Sean Carter is just as bad as the diddler. And I know that for a fact. I got the scars to prove it. You want to know what a box cutter feels like going into your skin and ripping you? I can tell you how it feels. Y'all ain't seen shit yet. That Cassie shit, that's nothing. I'm saying Sean Carter remembers everything he did to me and he's got it on tape. Just like Diddy. And they're going to be crazy. It's going to be the women that give them in the end.
Attention gradually began turning toward Jay-Z as people started questioning why he remained silent while everything surrounding Diddy was unfolding. That silence made many observers suspicious. Some believed Jay-Z's team already knew his name might come up and wanted to stay ahead of the situation. Others feared that even without any official charges, the harm to his reputation was already taking place. Social media only fueled the situation further, with rumors spreading faster than ever that he had been silencing individuals who were raising allegations against him.
That's actually exactly what Jay-Z's accuser is saying, that even though she dropped the lawsuit, she still stands by what she says, and she only dropped it because of harassment and the fact that she's terrified of Jay-Z. She says that Jay-Z is allegedly bullying her into saying that her accusations were false. In fact, in new legal documents, she is claiming that she was recently approached outside of her home and cornered by two people who told her they were investigators working for one of Jay-Z's lawyers. She claims they tried to get her to sign an affidavit stating that her claims against Jay-Z were false, but she refused. Jane Doe also claims the alleged investigators asked her if her attorney, Tony Busby, sought her out as a client and offered her money to pursue false claims against Jay-Z, two allegations she says she denied. He says this alleged confrontation left her intimidated and terrified, wondering how they found her when her identity had remained anonymous in media reports and legal proceedings. He also claims that her parents were approached by two investigators asking similar questions about Busby and her story. In the new documents, she reveals she decided to drop the claim because she was frightened by the reaction from Jay-Z and his supporters. He says she feared she would be publicly outed and subjected to public attacks.
Industry insiders explained that even a single criminal investigation could change everything, not only for Diddy, but also for anyone closely associated with him. That's why many believe the documentary by 50 Cent carries so much weight. It isn't only focused on one individual. It looks at how power may have operated behind the scenes, who might have known certain things, and who could potentially become involved next. Commentators also began asking how Diddy managed to remain protected for so long. Some believe he built strong influence by surrounding himself with powerful figures and by keeping tight control over information. As the rumors continued spreading, reports started suggesting that Diddy might be cooperating with authorities in an attempt to lessen his situation. One of those rumored deals even claims he could be pointing fingers at Jay-Z of all people.
Will Diddy start snitching?
He better. But the only thing I'm interested in him talking about is everything he knows about Kathy Coriana White. See, I know you know what happened to Corey. Diddy, I know that. You and Jay-Z down in Vegas at Tao with Claudia. Why don't you just talk about Kathy? That might help. That might help a lot. Kathy Coriana White, Jay-Z's pregnant mistress, who died 24 hours after she announced that she was going public with their relationship and the baby while he was married to Beyonce.
Now,
Was
Jack,
it an aneurysm, Diddy? Or are you the one who paid the same coroner that you... Mm. Oh, Diddy, you should talk.
Now that the documentary has officially been released, one thing seems clear. This isn't only about what happened in the past, but also about what might unfold next. Each new detail draws more attention to the people who remained silent, particularly Jay-Z. The renewed spotlight on him matters because his connection with Diddy goes back many years. Gene Deal, in particular, didn't hold back when he was asked about Jay-Z's relationship with Diddy. His comments came after Jay-Z's lawyer released a statement claiming that Jay-Z and Diddy were never actually that close. From Gene Deal's perspective, however, that explanation didn't make much sense at all.
How close was Diddy and Jay-Z? They was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball, they wasn't playing baseball, they wasn't playing football, and they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his ass, and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but Jay-Z. Now, I don't know what kind of statement, and I can't say, I wish I could say half a homo, but I know I can't say it. But I don't know what kind of half a homo that is. And you trying to say that you're not close to somebody. You coming on stage, patting them on their ass, and then you making a broad statement to the public, can't nobody call me Sean but Sean Carter. And I heard Jay-Z said the same thing about them. But they were so close that they had matching white girls together. Because when they used to see each other, they used to say, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? He'd be like, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? So I guess that's a certain type of closeness.
I ain't know anything about that, man. I ain't know about, Jay touching his, ass. I got to go see the video. I ain't hear about that.
Come on, man. Everybody's seen that. 50 even pointed it out. Excuse me. When they was in ATL on stage. Remember when 50 bum rushed the stage with them?
Yeah, I think I recall that.
When Puff came on stage, first thing he did was pat Jay-Z on that. But I forgot. That's your favorite rapper.
Hey, him and Pocket's 1A, 1B. But what's your issue with Jay, man? I ain't know you had an issue with him.
I'm never a fan of somebody that I was going to knock out.
According to Gene Deal, that level of familiarity spoke for itself. He also pointed to a moment during a show in Atlanta when Diddy came out on stage alongside Jay-Z. Many people noticed how natural and comfortable their interaction seemed. Later, 50 Cent even mentioned the moment publicly, which helped keep the clip circulating across social media. When asked whether he had a personal issue with Jay-Z, Gene explained that it wasn't about being a fan or not. He recalled an old situation when tensions were high, yet later Jay-Z appeared not to remember it at all. Gene suggested that this is sometimes how people at the top operate. They move through situations, create conflicts, and then leave them behind or forget about them entirely, often because they're living in a completely different world from everyone else.
Different world.
That's how these guys are, man. They'll cause situations and cause problems, and then they'll forget what they done because they on a whole nother atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit that he did, you got to understand, like now he'll say that they're kids because he's raising kids of his own. You understand? But how would you like it that if Blue Ivory, 15, 16 years old, 17, 18 years old, dating in his early 30s? You're not going to go for that. No matter what she came through in Hollywood. But you got to understand, guys who was around there, we didn't know Jay-Z them ages. We didn't know these cats' age. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't having no beards and nothing like that. They was wearing low cuts. You understand? Clean face. I would have never believed when Jay was coming around the block, scooping up the young girls and stuff like that he was 30 years old. You know, if they 17, 18, 16 years old, and they 22, you thinking they 22, 23, something like that, 24 years old? They mom and them need to check them. They daddy and them need to check them. But that's not that far off. But for somebody to be 30 years old in their 30s and they dealing with kids 16 years old, 17, 18 years, now that's a problem. That's an issue. And now he see that because he's raising kids. And he got a young daughter. I think he got another daughter that he didn't claim and now he claiming them. These cats was doing a whole lot of stuff that people in the industry won't speak on. And then now that you're speaking on it and it's becoming where is that you can get on YouTube and you could talk about this shit and say what you seen or say what you heard, you understand, or what you know. Some people look at it being a problem. But these cats ain't street cats. They entertain us.
Dame Dash, who was once the close friend and business partner of Jay-Z, also recently spoke about the serious accusations circulating around him. What caught Dame's attention the most wasn't only the allegations themselves, but the way people were responding to them. According to Dame, he had never seen Jay-Z face this level of public scrutiny before. For decades, Jay-Z appeared almost untouchable, particularly within mainstream media. This time, however, that sense of protection didn't seem to be present in the same way.
It's just odd to see him in that, getting looked at in that way by white people. Like Jay does, yeah. Like I hope that shit didn't happen, but I'm like, damn, they turned the world real. Like people on a certain level have been fucking with him a certain way where he couldn't do no wrong for like 25 years straight. This is the first time he's not getting a pass with white media. Like he can control black media because a lot of them either work or do business with him. But like, Drink Champs can't get him out of this one, and neither can Charlemagne, because those are the guys that hold him down no matter what he does anyway. So he got to get to People Magazine and Entertainment Tonight right now because they on his head. But the question is why? Like why now? Because for me, I'd be like, yo, that's so ridiculous. Yo, take that to trial. You're not going to win. Let's get a deposition or something. So I don't know why they on his head so much. Pause. But I never seen him, under this, I never seen him in this position to have to explain himself. Pause.
How you feel about the statement he came out with?
I mean, I didn't hear him say anything. I heard a piece of, like I said, for me, I'm doing an interview, so I talk. I thought it was long. For a statement, I thought it was long, pause. But, I think right now, his silence is the worst thing for him if he is innocent. He needs to let people ask him questions, and he needs to be able to say his side of the story, as opposed to letting that lawyer talk.
Dame also took issue with the choice to distance Jay-Z entirely from Diddy. He believed that claiming they were never friends was an extreme way to put it, and he felt that such a statement would probably result in a backlash.
Like I don't think I would have said that he didn't know Puff at all or wasn't his friend. I thought that was a little extreme. I thought that was the wrong choice of words. I think that's going to trigger a lot of backlash. But the thing is, I never seen him get backlash at all. So that's what I'm saying. Now he getting backlash. Like, when did you know Jay-Z to be on his heels other than when he got beat up in the elevator? But that was nothing. But I've never seen him under the fire ever. Not in a long time. Not like, I never seen people on his head like that, Paul. Ever.
Yeah, this might be my first time seeing people come at him like this.
Like I said, I didn't hear him say anything. Like I'm not some white man speaking for another black man doesn't add up. It just doesn't work like that. Like he doesn't know what to say on Jay's behalf. Jay would have to say that. So if he instructed him to say that, like you don't even know if Jay told him to say that. He could have got off the stage and they was like, "Why'd you say that?" He was like, "I had to." Like he probably said it because homeboy wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? Like I didn't hear him say anything. I haven't heard Jay say a word yet. Have you?
Nah, I haven't heard him say anything.
There it is. So y'all going by a piece of paper with words. Don't get caught up in that. I have not heard him say one thing yet. Until I see him speak, he hasn't spoke to me. That's why I said I don't think he did not say that. His lawyer said it. So that what else is a lawyer gonna say? You know what I'm saying?
What really took Dame by surprise was that he couldn't recall Jay-Z ever being forced into a defensive stance like this, with only a handful of rare exceptions in years past. Dame notes that the pressure is now both constant and genuine for the first time. This raises a fascinating question. Why is 50 Cent so intent on exposing Jay-Z? The connection with Diddy doesn't offer a complete explanation on its own. According to Tony Yayo, the friction between 50 Cent and Jay-Z is deep-seated, fueled by a history of loyalty and competition. Yayo elaborated that hip-hop is naturally competitive, egos often clash and situations become intense, yet there are still times when artists mature and move past their differences. He highlighted a recent performance where 50 Cent was joined on stage by Dr. Dre and Cameron. Despite having problems years ago, this moment was a sign of growth. Cameron recently remarked that Jay-Z prioritizes business over the culture, a sentiment Yayo found understandable. He noted that while Jay-Z is always present for major corporate events, he hasn't shown the same level of support for the hip-hop milestones that truly matter to artists like 50 Cent.
And there was this one part where 50 was talking, and he was saying, yeah, when Yayo was locked up, every G-Unit show, we actually put aside the money.
Bro, I told
for him, and he had he's like, Yayo had like $1 million.
Right. I just told you when I came out of my building, I see the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
There was no way I was getting shot there. And this is what I kind of tell you is like, what we was talking about stacks with the Porsche. 50's not going to let you say, get the Porsche. He going to say, let's get him out the hood first. You know, if the money's there, but the money has to be there for you to live like that. The money's there. 50 didn't have to do that. Rest in peace to Hervé from Interscope, because he always said to me, man, 50 do more for you than any artist, than anybody does for their artists, more than Jay-Z. Young Guns is right there.
Noted that the primary distinction between Jay-Z and 50 Cent lies in their approachability. While Jay-Z operates at an elite level, he remains distant. In contrast, 50 Cent is just as influential but maintains his connections and consistently shows up for others. Yayo emphasized that artists ought to remember those who supported their rise from the beginning. Then he touched on the detail that truly resonated. Yayo mentioned hearing that Jay-Z was against 50 Cent performing at the Super Bowl halftime show. According to those reports, Eminem had to intervene, making it known that he wouldn't take the stage unless 50 Cent was part of the lineup. To Yayo, that move felt deeply personal.
Well, speaking of Cameron,
yeah,
he made a statement recently. He said that Jay-Z loves money more than hip-hop. And he pointed out that Jay-Z performed at Tom Brady's Hall of Fame ceremony, but he didn't perform in any Hip Hop 50 events.
I mean, Jay-Z's on a whole nother level. Like, I mean, you know, he's like, but you know what I like about 50? 50's on a whole nother level, but he's still approachable. You still get to meet the people and you know, Jay got to remember the people that made him. You know, I'm not saying I don't got respect. I respect Jay-Z, 50, used to respect, you know, Diddy, but all that crazy shit going on. But, you know, I always respected him because I looked at, for New York, those were like the guys. You know what I'm saying? The guys with the most money and the most influence. So with Jay is like, when the last time you haven't seen Jay. So I think people are just going to say that. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I mean, Jay, you know, you got to remember, he didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl. That was crazy. I'm like,
wait, Jay didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl?
Know that? Yeah, he didn't want.
I remember Eminem pushed for it.
That was some hater shit. Yeah,
I remember Eminem was like, I'm not going to do it unless 50 does it. I heard that.
Yeah,
but I didn't know that Jay was trying to stop it.
I don't think Jay. I don't know. 50 never told me that, but I don't think Jay wanted him there. I don't know.
Because of what? Some of the.
I mean,
the
you know, it's competition. You got to think. 50 always been competition for Jay. Remember, I'm about $1. What the fuck is 50 Cent?
That was a long time ago.
That was what, 9? What? Was
yeah,
that
but
9?
But after that, they did a song together. Remember
yeah,
the whole,
of course, but 50 was
thing?
always competition for niggas. Then remember Jay said, yo, 50's coming. He told Siegel and them, and Memphis Bleak and all them.
Yeah.
And come on, 50's like, he's on a whole nother level. You got to remember, he came after niggas. He came after Jay and Rockefeller. G-Unit came. And people might shit on G-Unit, but with Eminem, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, nobody has outsold us, bro. Nobody has had the effect.
Record executives even shared with Yayo that 50 Cent has done more for his circle than many of the industry's major figures have ever done for their own artists.
Because he says to people, he goes into boardrooms and says to people, which I will never say, is he says, it's important for me to be a billionaire, you know, because Black people need to be billionaires. And why does specifically he, at that time, I've had this conversation with white money people when they go, you know, it's important that Jay-Z becomes a billionaire. And I go, why? And they said, because he wants to open up a casino. You know, he wants to open up this. He should have an alcoholic brand. He needs to have a casino. He needs to have this. And you're like, why the fuck does anybody need a casino? Like another fucking casino
prints money
in this
all
world.
day, and it makes it very possible for people to launder money all day.
Yeah. So like, why, even the fact that you want to become so powerful, then you're not saying because he needs to build schools for Black people in Black neighborhoods. It's because he wanted to build casinos for Black people.
For them to keep wasting their money, and then for him to keep selling them overpriced merchandise. It's a rat trap.
Yeah.
All of it is. The sad part is that hip hop has now turned itself over to this greed machine and doesn't realize it's time to unplug.
Over time, the bond between Jay-Z and Diddy reportedly began to crumble. Those close to them suggest that trust turned into a concern, with growing fears about who would look out for their own interests if the situation ever soured. Jaguar Wright has even alleged that Jay-Z was working behind the scenes to orchestrate Diddy's downfall, although that assertion remains unproven.
So why does it all come to a head now? Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing shit different. He lined up D. Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one.
Yeah, shout out D. Haven. He actually hit us up, wanted to tell this story.
You need to talk to D. Haven.
Yeah, we need to talk to him.
I told you that last year when I put you on the phone with him.
You did.
Roger Bonds, who served as Diddy's former head of security, offered his own take on what that relationship actually looked like from an insider's perspective. From Roger's point of view, although he witnessed Jay-Z and Diddy interacting, he never considered them to be truly close. He noted that Diddy seemed to believe their bond was much stronger than it really was.
I believe Puff felt they was close.
Oh.
But if you was a person on the outside looking in, like me and Uncle Paulie used to always talk about it, me and D-Rock would talk about, yo, why Puff kind of like sucking Jay off so much? You know what I'm saying? Because you'd be like, we done flew to 5 or 6, 7 different concerts that Jay-Z has. But Jay-Z is not at one of Puff's shows. You know what I'm saying? You look at the Rock brunch where Puff will break his neck to get to the brunch, but Jay-Z don't pop up at any of Puff parties. You know, now I can only speak up until 2012. You know what I'm saying? And Puff was breaking his neck. Like at the end of the day, in our mind, we say, yo, he ain't even invite Puff to his wedding. When he married Beyonce, Steve Stout and all of them was there. You know what I'm saying? And Puff was kind of in his feelings, but once again.
Oh, Puff was upset he didn't get invited to the wedding?
Of course he was.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? But you got to remember, we're security, so we're bottom on a tote pole. So he's not going to show you that it really affects him until you have a little conversation with him, or you say something, or you overhear something. But he didn't get invited to that, you know. Yeah, Jay came through every once in a while. Like if we was in a yacht in San Tropez or one of these places like that, Jay might ride up, you know what I'm saying? And it's more or less to show, yeah, I got a yacht too.
Members of Diddy's team frequently observed that Diddy was there for Jay-Z much more often than Jay-Z was there for him.
To me all the time. I mean, Jay ain't really with Puff. It was no personal into it. It would be like if Ron Burgos is flying from LA on his jet, but Jay-Z just so happens to be going to New York too. We all end up on the jet flying back, those type of things, but nothing to go out his way into. If we in a club, you might be downtown at bed or something like that. Jay-Z might be there. So they end up at the same table, you know what I'm saying? And it was times where I listen to the records now where Jay-Z said, yo, why should I drink Ciroc why should I drink Grey Goose when Puff got Ciroc? This is something new that just started happening because I remember we almost got into a big altercation with Pecos and them because...
For Sean Pecos?
Yeah, because Puff was there and Jay and them was there and they had a bunch of Grey Goose bottles come to the table. And Puff felt like, yo, that was disrespectful. And he knocked over the Grey Goose bottles, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
I think I heard about this.
Fuck y'all niggas doing that for, yo, da-da-da-da-da-da. But Jay didn't care, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and Pecos came back to the house and explained himself, da-da-da-da-da. You know, I was eavesdropping and airdropping, you know, because like I said, Puff is always ready to fight, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, Emery had just came home and this, that, and the other like that, and they ordered Grey Goose bottles. Now, why you got 10 Grey Goose bottles coming to the table if you know I'm right here at the table and I got Ciroc? So there's a lot of different things that don't add up.
From his perspective, Jay-Z and Diddy were never as tight-knit as people assumed. While they may have shared wealth, influence, and common spaces, they lacked true loyalty, and over time, those fractures became too significant to overlook. Could we be witnessing these cracks expand until they eventually swallow them both? Share your thoughts in the comments below.